To celebrate St. Patrick's Day, the Irish holiday, President Obama was appropriately decked out on Tuesday in a green tie. Meeting with Ireland's Prime Minister, Brian Cowan, he opened his comments with humor.
It turns out that we have something in common. He hails from County Offaly, and it was brought to my attention on the campaign that my great-great-great-grandfather on my mother's side came to America from a small village in this county as well. We are still speculating on whether we are related.
During months of tough talk on the economic crisis, Mr. Obama was mostly grim, and he was criticized for it.
A failure to act, and act now, will turn crisis into a catastrophe. An economic crisis unlike any that we've seen. Things could get worse before they get better.
But he's lightened up, if just a little. Presidential historian Alan Lichtman.
These are sober times. And, the president has delivered a lot of stern and sober talks to the American people, but there is a lighter side to Barack Obama.
Lately, he's been mixing serious talk about the economy and government spending with a dose of humor.
Thanks for not breaking anything last night.
In February, President Obama thanked the nation's governors for minding their manners at a dinner he hosted for them, and at the recent Fiscal Responsibility Summit with members of Congress, when former presidential rival John McCain questioned the president about whether a new fleet of helicopters for the White House was fiscally responsible, Mr. Obama responded with humor.
The helicopter I have now seems perfectly adequate to me. Of course, I've never had a helicopter before, so, maybe I've been deprived and I didn't know it.
Humor has always played a role in politics, in humanizing political figures, and it's also been a way of deflecting criticism.
Mr. Obama's sense of humor emerged at the end of a tense presidential campaign, where humor was mostly not on view. In mid-October, Senator McCain and Mr. Obama delivered jokes at the annual Al Smith dinner in New York. Mr. Obama laughed, not only at Senator McCain, but took pot shots at himself.
To name my greatest strength, I guess it would be my humility. Greatest weakness, it's possible that I'm a little too awesome.
All hail Obama and Hosanna, hallelujah, great.
Mark Russell is a stand-up comic.
I think Barack Obama has a natural wit. It doesn't look contrived.
Historian Lichtman says the president no longer has to fear that his humor will be seen as stereotypical of black men or turned against him. At a town hall meeting in Indiana, the president was confronted by a woman who said he ought to have a beer with Sean Hannity, a right-wing television commentator and an opponent. Mr. Obama made light of it.
Generally, his opinion of me does not seem to be very high, but I'm always good for a beer. So
I think he's probably injected enough humor to humanize himself in these very sober and perilous times.
And a little humor couldn't hurt as the nation braces for more tough times. For producer Francine Usanase, I'm Carol Pearson, VOA News.
Right. So I wanted to know if there was wisdom.